Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. That's right, the video game show that is not hosted by an annoying e-beggar. There is no Patreon, no super chats. That's right, we just talk about the games we love and how fun it is to hoard them, collect them. Now, with that said, let's get ready for the show. On today's episode, this show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised. Hello humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Just a really quick update here on what is going on. Well, it's official. I am officially part of the Old Man Cringe community, specifically because Darius stopped by and left a comment. Let me say, many of you may not be in love with his tone, but from time to time he does make some poignant observations, and he made one on my channel that I have to own. And that is that my episode was all over the place. And he is correct, right? I can't walk away from that. And that's because I didn't write a script for that particular show. And that got me to thinking of the video game cops that start filming here pretty soon. And those episodes have to have a script, right? For that reason, it's going to delay me putting out videos. I'm already working on the script for the first show of Video Game Cops, or what that's going to be. I don't know how often I can make them and produce a quality show, at least to the quality that you guys would enjoy. You know what I'm saying? I want it to have a story, a follow-through, and an ending. I don't want to make them too long, something maybe you can enjoy at work or something like that, or on your break. But it's going to have to be more structured, and the quality of the writing has to be a little bit better than what I've been putting out for, the little shorts that I've been doing, things that are just come in my head and I just walk in here and shoot them, right? I have to put a bit more effort in those, so I am going to try to do that. I have to get better at that. First, let me show you some pickups that I got really quick. Marvel vs. Capcom on the Dreamcast, right? Think about how powerful that console is. Is it as powerful as some of today's cell phones? Probably not. But let's keep on going. Next, Street Fighter 3 Second Impact. These are loose discs, guys. I got a good price on them, so I had to get them because I am a game hoarder, not a collector. A game that brings so many memories, specifically on my kids. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2. I didn't own it on the Dreamcast, so I'm glad I have it now. And last but not least, the game that is going to be featured on the first episode of Video Game Cops, which is Fighting Force 2. The reason I wanted to show you these games, and specifically my pickups of this week, is because I want you to think what my expectations of visual quality are, of graphics, for me to enjoy a game. They're probably much different than yours because I grew up in a different era. Next, Disgaea, depending where you're from, however you say it, from Atlas. It's one of the lowest price Atlas games that you're going to find out there. So if you collect for Atlas, that's a must. And last but not least, ever since I saw that, I saw this product, I knew I was going to order it. Now I know this console is not popular, but let me show you this. It's the Atari VCS classic controller, joystick. To me, guys, the Atari 2600 was my first console. The very first game that I ever played overnight where I had no sleep was Combat, right? My favorite game, of that era, right, is Pitfall. To this day, the original Pitfall for me is just a game that I'm still in love with, right? That I would love to see a retro reimagining, and I wish, that Intellivision could have done it, but unfortunately, Activision was being an ass and said no. But that's the type of stuff that I like, and the type of stuff that I grew up with. If you think about it, many of the people that criticize the Intellivision look, and I'm not talking about the launch or anything like that, I'm just talking about the graphics, especially of the older games or the retro reimagined, have different expectations as far as graphics. If you think about it, most of them grew up post the iPhone, right? They grew up with the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360, which were great machines, amazing machines. Most of the things that we love about modern gaming today started there, right? Most of the things that we hate about modern gaming also started there. But the graphic quality is just universes apart, right? Because the 7th generation was a giant leap in graphics and video gaming experience to anything that had come before it. The PlayStation 2, the Dreamcast sort of touched on it, but it was nothing like what we got with these two machines. It was just the next level. We had online gaming, we had story-driven narratives that with graphics that were amazing, almost human-like. And so the expectations for most of you that grew up with those systems are so much superior than what we experienced, right? We grew up with games that were an hour or two, right, at most at home. Some of them were long, but a great many deal of them were like that. Arcade experiences that are designed to be short-lived, right? Just pick up and go. So, the other day I started thinking about it, and it's like right about that divide in Vanilla Ice, actually, of all people, right? You would have thought Vanilla Ice made a great observation, and he said it's the pre-cell phone generation, the post-cell phone generation, and that's why people love the 90s so much, right? Everything 90s really popular. I mean, Air Jordans, Air Force Ones are still selling. He was making point of the things that are still popular back from the 90s because it was really the last year of, pop culture as opposed to, whatever you want to call it now, meme culture, right? So it's an interesting divide. It's an interesting topic of conversation, I find. But, as far as the Amico, let me tell you something right now, guys. I don't feel like I should speak on the gameplay because now there is gameplay out there. Now there's people that I have seen play the game, both for and against the machine, right? So I would defer to them to form an opinion of what the game is like or what the controller is like. I'm going to find, as much as I can, any possibility to play the machine if there's an event around here, right? But I don't like talking smack. I don't like talking about things that I don't know, right? I wouldn't describe to you a carne asada burrito if I hadn't tried it, right? The amazing taste that is. At this point, I have to try the machine to judge it. Now, as far as production, right? That's a completely different topic that I can opine to because I know the challenges they're probably facing now. One of the things that's happening in manufacturing, guys, is this price of gas is killing a lot of things. Freight is just eating up profits left and right? Because many customers don't care how good you are. You can't go up to them and say, hey, I have to charge you 15% more because, whatever the case may be, California taxes, whatever the case is, gas prices are higher. They just are, right? Is it inflation? Is it politics? Who knows? But the reality is that these gas prices are higher. So that eats up into profits, number one. Number two, as far as electronics, it's a seller's market. There's such a shortage, you can pretty much ask for what you want. So how much are you going to pay, right? If it was me and I was running a business, and I know many of you are excited about this console, I would say wait. It's never a good negotiation tool when you can't walk away from the table, right? So whenever you're negotiating and the guy across from you knows that you'll pay whatever price needs to be paid because you need the item that that he has, he's going to take you to the cleaners, right? So, you would just delay. The console now is to a point where you have working prototypes, working within quotes, but you have demonstration prototypes that you can do first articles on, that you can do some engineering to, that you can mass produce, right? I know some of you may disagree, but based on my experience, guys, and I've been doing this for over 20 years, there's enough there to produce something that through software you can address later, right? Even if it's not completely finished, you can work on the software end of it and you can do an update by the time you launch, right? But business-wise, and I know I'm going to break a lot of hearts here, business-wise, it doesn't make sense to launch on October. It does not. It would be more reasonable to wait till next April, because you should see a huge price drop by then, because the supply of materials should be greater. Now that's just what I see as far as facts. Is that what's going to happen? No, of course not. That's just my opinion. But that's where we're at. That's where we're at. I have to say, I was disappointed that I didn't see Moon Patrol. Right? I really was expecting to see Moon Patrol, and I didn't see much of that. Let me tell you this, though. The one thing that I loved, I'm not even going to say that I loved, was Flying Tigers. The graphics of it were right up my alley. It reminded me of a lot of simple shooters that I used to play before, specifically on the Turbo Graphics. Man, I'm telling you, they're missing opportunities by not, just redoing these old franchises and then charging more for the games, right? Because for those games, we would pay twice the price. I mean, I think I'd be pretty safe to say that my old man cringe community would pay, willfully $39.95 for a retro shooter that's been cleaned up, that's been remade, that has more levels, that's been expanded on. Jeez, I mean, you can do Dungeon Explorer. You're talking about co-op, right? You're talking about couch co-op. You can do, like the old Gauntlet and stuff like that. But hey, that's neither here nor there. We're at where we're at. I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's going on in the channel. As you can see, I didn't write a script for this one either, but I am working on the channel, so I just beg for your patience while I'm getting this stuff sorted out. In the meantime, I wish you a great weekend, and remember, never ever ever be afraid to be happy. And I'm going to leave you with a new intro for Video Game Cops. Take care. New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.